Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Our national pastime. It binds, unites, it demands the work of the team, and rewards the greater good. What better symbol represents the service and sacrifice pledged to protect this nation? We pause today to pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice and give thanks to those who served to protect our freedom. The game we love symbolizes the spirit of this nation: indivisible, resilient, unwavering. As we celebrate our grand game this Memorial Day, we keep in mind those who are serving. Never forget those who have sacrificed, so that we, as a nation, can live freely in this country and enjoy the national pastime that is America's game.
Baseball and Memorial Day here in Arizona. Diamondbacks baseball presented by Sanderson Ford as we salute the troops, paying our respects at Wesley Bolin Memorial Plaza, located in front of our state capitol building, one of Phoenix's points of pride. And we at the D-backs and Fox Sports Arizona, never more proud to honor our fallen servicemen and women on this Memorial Day 2014. Josh Coleman to the Stars and Stripes hanging in his locker today inside the D-backs clubhouse, as we remember those men and women who died serving their fellow Americans. Good afternoon from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. This is the Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres, the first of a three-game series on this Memorial Day 2014. Fox Sports Arizona today hosting 50 Arizona National Guard members and their families at this ball game, and the Diamondbacks with a great crowd here at the ballpark today, Bob, honoring our servicemen and women.
You know, partner, one of the best moments we have every day traveling around this great country is when they recognize local servicemen and women for their sacrifices. Best part of the day.
And we're glad you're here to share it with us on Fox Sports Arizona. A terrific crowd at Chase Field for the Diamondbacks and the Padres. When we come back, more on the pitching. Tyson Ross and Brandon McCarthy. It's the D-backs and the Padres first to three on Memorial Day as we salute the troops. Bob Brenly back with you. It's the Padres and the Diamondbacks, and for the D-backs, our Arizona Ford starting pitcher is Brandon McCarthy. His strength training program this winter has so far helped avoid his usual shoulder injury, which has cropped up right at this point every season, and he's throwing harder this year. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 5 of his last 6 starts.
Now you see the one victory on the season for Brandon McCarthy. That came against these Padres at Petco Park earlier this season. Went 7 strong innings, gave up only 3 hits of shutout baseball, struck out 6, only walked 1 man in that game.
Padres offense has really struggled so far this year, barely hitting .220 as a team, and last in baseball in runs, hits, RBIs, on base, and slugging. And they've had their defensive issues as well. First pitch, and a terrific play by Cliff Pennington to get Everett Cabrera. 1 pitch, 1 out for McCarthy.
A lot of deficiencies in this Padres offense. Keeping Cabrera off base, however, is a real good idea. He is a legitimate base stealer. He's at the top of the order. Seth Smith swinging the bat well, one of the few guys for the Padres. Carlos Quentin 4 for 5 with a couple of homers in his last 4 games. Chase Headley at third base. Yonder Alonso over at first, hitting under 200. Same with Jet Jerko at second. Rene Rivera behind the plate. Alexio Amarista in center field, and right-hander Tyson Ross on the mound.
And this is the bat to watch out for in the San Diego lineup. It's Seth Smith, has an on-base percentage of nearly .420. And with the way he's been hitting for power in his first season with the Padres, the OPS puts him 4th in the National League. He is right there with guys like Stanton and Puig and Tulowitzki. The shift is on, and Smith hits right into it. Cliff Pennington in there at second for Aaron Hill. Hold the phone. That should have been an out, but Eric Cooper is the first base umpire, and Smith is aboard. Goldie off the bag.
It looked like the throw from Cliff was just a little bit low from shallow right field.
Left fielder.
When he just hits Goldie in the mitten, comes out.
Never did quite have it. I always wonder about that throw for the second baseman from the outfield grass. It's a little unusual. I know we see it more and more now with all these defensive shifts, but that is an error on Goldschmidt at first. And Seth Smith is aboard with 1 out for Carlos Quentin, the former Diamondback. Only able to play in 7 games all year. 4 of those have been starts. He's had just 14 at bats, but does have 2 homers, and he has been a welcome return to the Padre lineup. They have missed him, and he's come through so far in his first week or so. McCarthy jumps ahead 0-2. Quentin missed the Padres' first 39 games with a bone bruise in his left knee. And this is after he missed their last 54 games last year and had to be shut down with a strain in his other knee, the right one. And as you can see, he is a difference maker for San Diego. That right knee needed surgery last September.
Because of those injuries, he had a real off year last year. Getting hit by pitch, something that has been his specialty throughout his career, especially in the minor leagues as a member of the Diamondbacks. Had a minor league season in Tucson of 29 hit by pitch. The following season, 31. He's had a high of 23 in the big leagues, only 9 last year. He's a dartboard.
Quentin, of course, the first round pick by the D-backs in 03. 2 big league seasons here. And over the course of those 2 years, hit .230 with 14 homers. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Smith the runner at first. Bounce to short. Double play ball. Owens, Pennington, Goldschmidt, and they roll it. Thanks for spending your Memorial Day with us, both at Chase Field and Fox Sports Arizona. We are playing ball and saluting the troops. Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink. Memorial Day 2014 at Chase Field, bottom one. And your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres is Tyson Ross, 27-year-old right-hander. Big guy out there at 6'5", 225. A 2.64 ERA is the best of the Padres rotation, and he's got nearly a strikeout per inning.
And he's been tough on the Diamondbacks over the course of his career. You will see a lot of wipeout sliders from Tyson Ross. He throws it a lot, and it's a good one. And also has a fastball that sits in the mid-90s, and occasional straight changeup.
A.J. Pollock will lead it off for Kirk Gibson. A.J. 286, 5 home runs. This is just his 12th start as the leadoff man. You don't usually see him bat leadoff against a right-hand pitcher with Gerardo Parra in the lineup, so this is a bit of a new twist here, Bob.
Yeah, a little bit. We saw it in Game 2 of the doubleheader in New York yesterday. Kirk Gibson flipped Gerardo Parra, and A.J. Pollock up there at the top of the order against Daisuke Matsusaka. Pollock had an 0-for-4 ball game in Game 2 of that doubleheader yesterday.
Look where Alexi Amarista in center field is playing A.J. Pollock. That is an enormous gap in center and left center for A.J. And sure enough, he hits it to the left side, but right at Chase Headley. One away. Take a look at our Diamondback lineup. Pollock at the top.
Gerardo Parra batting second. Paul Goldschmidt, one of the few Diamondbacks with good career numbers against Tyson Ross. Miguel Montero doing the catching. Martin Prado at third base. Cody Ross out in left field. Chris Owings will play shortstop. Cliff Pennington filling in for Aaron Hill, who fouled a ball off his ankle yesterday in New York. And Brandon McCarthy, the right-hander, on the mound for the Diamondbacks.
Gerardo Parra. His third game this season, hitting second in the lineup, so we'll see how this goes. And once again, a dramatic shift for the center fielder Amarista, who's now well over in left center field.
I talk about this all the time. You can overshift in the outfield as drastically as Amarista is if you have confidence that your pitcher's going to hit his spots and keep that ball away from Gerardo Parra, force him to hit it into the teeth of the defense.
It's a big ballpark to be leaving such big holes in between your outfielders, so we'll see how that works out for Bud Black. 264, 5 homers for Gerardo Parra on this Memorial Day, and it's a terrific crowd here. Kids get in free. A huge walk-up crowd for the D-backs today. A lot of families, a lot of servicemen and women here. It's a terrific day at the ballpark as Parra strikes out, 2 down in the first.
First baseman, number 44.
Paul Goldschmidt making his way to the plate. The last time these two hooked up at Petco Park, Paul Goldschmidt with an opposite field home run just to the right of straightaway center. That's a blast. Game in a day game there in San Diego.
Goldie 305, 9 homers. Strike one. Paul Nard is the plate umpire. Tyson Ross, 3-1 over his last 5 starts. His only no decision, in fact, all year was that game against the D-backs. Petco Park, May 4th. Goldie high and deep to right, but it's going to die at the track for Smith, and it's allowed out number 3. Scoreless 3-1 at Chase Field. there. He'll face Chase Headley, Yonder Alonso, and Jed Jerko 4, 5, and 6 in the San Diego second. Lows never stop improving. Brandon McCarthy, look at these numbers over his last 2 starts.
It goes without saying he's been really good. Both of those were team losses. He got a no decision in each one of those starts. One against the Nationals, one against the Cardinals.
Chase Headley at 207 on the year. First pitch is out into left. Cody Ross. Well, McCarthy started off the first with a 1-pitch out. He's done so again here in the second.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda dealers' keys to the game. Certainly today, a day of remembrance all around Major League Baseball here at Chase Field in Arizona. No exception. And the baseball key to the game, keep the Padres on the interstate. 3 of the starters for Bud Black today hitting under 200. We joked about it a couple of weeks ago. When you're hitting in the 100s, you're said to be on the interstate.
And here's one of them, a key bat in the lineup. Yonder Alonso looks at strike 1. The Padres simply have too many important guys who have batting averages that start with a 1. And his on-base percentage is under 250. He's barely slugging 300, and they're wondering what's happened to Yonder Alonso. Injuries hampered him so badly for most of last year. He is not a home run hitter. He's never had double-digit homers in a season, but he is a guy that drives the ball and hits doubles. Had 39 doubles a couple of years ago. And this entire team, Bob, it just swept through this lineup like a virus. Nobody can figure out what's happened to the offense with these guys.
Well, they say hitting is contagious, and I guess it can work in the other direction too. Not hitting can be contagious.
They elevate, and Alonso tomahawks into second. Pennington has it, 2 outs.
Minimum 80 at bats. Yonder Alonso, we just saw that number is going to go down a little bit. See, Amarista, Will Venable, who was a big part of their offense last year, is on the front of the media guide. Can't even get in the lineup this year.
And look at Jed Jerko. A disastrous start to his season, hitting under 170 for Bud Black. And his on-base percentage remarkably low. It's under 220. And this is a guy that was a Rookie of the Year candidate last year. A home run hitting, kind of a Dan Uggla type at second base, but he's slugging under 300.
And Brandon McCarthy's reputation obviously preceding him here in this game. Padres being very aggressive early in the count, knowing Brandon McCarthy likes to jump ahead and try to expand that strike zone.
This is hit well to right center field, playable for Parra. And Brandon McCarthy works a nice toddy 1-2-3 second, no score in downtown Phoenix. Diamondbacks are celebrating with free tickets for kids. Yes, through this Thursday, kids 12 and under get a free ticket with the purchase of an adult ticket anywhere in the ballpark. For more information and to get your tickets, visit dbacks.com/kids. And it's great to see so many families take advantage of this terrific Diamondback offer. This ballpark is packed today. There are tons of kids here. We had 4,000 fans walk up and buy seats for today's game. It's a great atmosphere. Bob, more than 1,000 kids are here watching this game for free because of this D-backs promotion.
How about that? Ideally, you get them out here once, they'll want to come back again. This is a great environment. Hot outside, cool inside. Get to watch a big league baseball game on Memorial Day. Nothing better than that.
Memorial Day really is the start of summer, and the Diamondbacks are helping out families all over Arizona. Free tickets for kids today through Thursday. So join us for the rest of the week here at Chase Field, and bring the kiddies. You get in free. Miguel Montero leads off the second with a foul ball against Tyson Ross. Big walk-up crowd today. Great atmosphere here. Tons of people in the ballpark with us for the D-backs and the Padres. Glad you're with us as well here on Fox Sports Arizona. The 0-1 from Ross. Fouled off. It's 0-2.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Montero back in the cleanup spot. That's where he's hit 4 of his 5 homers this year. Look at the Padres' big right-hander, former Cal Bear, Tyson Ross. You've seen this guy pitch for a long time.
Yeah, I actually saw him pitch at Cal against UNLV. I was joking about it with Mark Grant, the fine TV analyst for the Padres.
Hard to second, Jerko.
Yeah, the Cal Bears were warming up down the right field line, and I was sitting on the third base side of the field there in Berkeley, and about every minute or so another ball would come rolling all the way down from the right field bullpen. Tyson had great stuff in college, didn't always know where it was going, but he's really refined his stuff and is rapidly becoming one of the better right-handers in the game. That slider is a good one.
Look at how often he throws it, about 35% of the time. That number's actually come down over the course of the last year or so. Martin Prado. Any concern, Bob, from a health standpoint, if you're the Padres, about a guy who throws his slider that much?
Well, I think it depends on his mechanics out there on the mound. And Darren Balsley's one of the best nuts and bolts pitching coaches in the game right now. And if he's not concerned, I guess I shouldn't be concerned.
Right.
But, you know, normally a slider is a pitch that does put a lot of torque, a lot of strain on that elbow. But Tyson Ross has been using that as his signature pitch pretty much his entire career.
A ball and a strike to Martin Prado over the head of Ross, and that one trickles through in the center. Prado's aboard with the game's first hit, a one-out single in the second.
You mentioned it earlier, Ross, a big guy out there at 6'5". He's got some wide wingspan. He sticks that bare hand up above his head to try to knock that one down. Martin just does get it over the fingertips of Ross and on into center field for the first D-backs hit.
1 out and 1 on for Cody Ross. 195 and a homer. And Cody just 3 RBI shy of 500 for his career. Missed that in the air to short right. And it drops in. Prado running all the way, heads for third. Great read by Prado, who saw that was going to drop into no man's land.
A little bit of an advantage for the base runner at first base. You're a lot closer to home plate, and you can hear that contact off the bat. Prado realized rather quickly that was going to drop in between Jerko and Seth Smith. Smith just kind of froze out there initially in right field. By the time he realized it's going to drop in front, he has no chance to get there. Diamondbacks on the corners.
With 1 out for Chris Owings. Arizona in the series against the Mets at Citi Field, 3 for 21 with runners in scoring position. And a chance to reverse that trend right here for CO. Owings hit in both games of the double dip yesterday at Citi Field. He started both games against the Mets, including his homer in Game 1. He's up there with Prado at third and Cody Ross at first. The home run as he looks at a strike. He was first pitch swinging up there yesterday.
Ambush. A fastball inside part of the plate. You saw him kind of posing there. I don't think he was trying to show up the pitcher on the mound. He just thought that ball might hook foul, but realized it was going to stay inside the pole and made his way rather quickly around the bases after that. Loves it here at home.
Yeah, we talked about that on the road trip. The platoon split for Chris Owings home and away is it's about 200 points. It's great that he hits well here, but you want to see some of that translate into the road trips.
The only player in the National League with a higher differential is Troy Tulowitzki, playing his home games at Coors Field.
A ball and 2 strikes. And a Rivera behind the plate for the Padres. And it's 2-2. This is a guy that has really become the defensive star for them back there. A guy with whom most of these pitchers feel extremely comfortable.
I like the way he holds those pitches around the corners of the plate at the top and bottom of the strike zone. And he's really done a nice job throwing out opposing base stealers this year.
They were carrying 3 catchers. They just traded Nick Hundley to Baltimore. 2-2. Called strike 3. Paul Nart rings up Owings, and that's the second out in the second.
Second baseman, number 4, Clint Pennington.
Didn't quite get back there. Two-seamer, but we mentioned Rivera, a good receiver. He kind of drug that one over there late that time. Normally you don't fool the umpire when you move that much that late, but that time Rivera bought his pitcher a strike.
Looked like a pretty good take by Chris. Instead, it's strike 3. And it's up to Cliff Pennington. 2 on and 2 outs.
Well, we'd just like to see Brandon McCarthy get that same pitch from home plate umpire Paul Nart. That comeback sinker. That one a little bit off the plate to Chris Owings. Brandon McCarthy could exploit that same pitch against this Padres offense.
File that away. Big gap in right center field for Penny. He's in there because Aaron Hill was still limping around a bit today after fouling a ball off his ankle against the Mets.
And then jumping on an airplane for a 5-hour flight certainly didn't help his recovery whatsoever. Boy, that was a tough one. Right off the inside of that left ankle, just above the shoe.
So Kurt Gibson giving Aaron Hill a day. A ball and a strike to Cliff Pennington. Knocked down, and Headley, it's off the glove and into center. Prado scores. Cody digging for third. He will get there. Nobody picks up the ball. And here comes Ross, and he is safe. Oh, the San Diego Padres, a defensive disaster, and it's 2-0 D-backs. Boy, did they kick that around.
Nice effort by Chase Headley down there at third. Can only get the tip of his glove on it. Everett Cabrera went over to back up the play. That ball just rolled harmlessly out into left center, and I'm not sure what Quentin and Amarista were doing out there, just looking at each other as the ball rolled behind Amarista. Sherlock racing Cody Ross down that third baseline.
Charles hadn't moved that fast in 10 years. Cody Ross just scored from first on a ground ball to shortstop. Brandon McCarthy. Big break for the Diamondbacks. It's not just been the hitting for San Diego. Their defense has really suffered as well this year.
Well, everything but their outfield defense. They haven't had an error from an outfielder yet this season. We'll see who gets hung with that error. I would assume Amarista for overrunning the ball in center field, but all 35 of their errors have come at other positions other than the outfield.
Yeah, their shortstop Cabrera already has more errors this season than he did all of last year. And Headley got to that one. It just kind of clanked off his glove. Tap to second, Jed Jerko. But on a routine ground ball by Cliff Pennington, the Diamondbacks get 2, and they lead it 2-0. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We continue to honor our servicemen and women. Jody Jackson with our veterans when we come back.
Welcome back. This is our Coors Banquet timeless moment on this Memorial Day. 92-year-old Hank Weaver, once a pitcher with the Cubs and Cardinals, was signed by Branch Rickey back in the day. Once roommates with Stan Musial back in the Cardinals organization during spring training. And I am honored to be alongside Hank Weaver here in the suite, part of the Honor Flight Arizona group that has come over here today to watch the game at Chase Field. Hank, what was it like for you to be out on the field today and throwing that first pitch?
Well, it was a real excitement for me. You know, like I say, I'm 92 and 6 months old. You know, I'm no spring chicken. It was a real honor, I'll tell you that. A real honor to come back and be with the young fellows, you know, that are playing. See, like I drafted Kevin Towers, helped draft Kevin Towers, you know, as a pitcher with San Diego, and they're down, you know. Kevin Towers is somewhere, I don't know where, you know, but anyhow, I helped him with Dave Marchach, the guy I worked with San Diego, as a pitcher at that time, and then he went to the front office and did real well in San Diego, won a pennant, 2 or whatever it was, and then he got let out, you know, this is San Diego. But to answer your question, it was really nice to get back on the ballpark. Baseball has changed, I mean, definitely. I mean, well, the amount of money, I mean, you know, the most I ever made was $15,500.
We thank you so much, and I think you did great out there today.
Did I look great?
Yeah, you did a fine job. Hank, thanks so much for being with us. Hank Weaver, once a member of the Cubs and Cardinals, and here with us today celebrating our veterans, and we really appreciate it on this Memorial Day. Thank you, Hank.
Number 38.
Yeah, see, I had an uncle that pitched for the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals, Lon Warnke, the Arkansas Hummingbird, they called him. He won 192 ball games, and he umpired in the big leagues also. And this is he and I.
We have some great pictures here.
1939, I was 17 years old there. Lon Warnke was with a star pitcher for the Cardinals. And this is Stan the Man Musial right here. I roomed with him in 1940. And he says to Hank Weaver, my roommate, 1940. And this picture here was couple of old coaches for Washington State. I umpired a lot of college games.
I just have to ask you, what was Stan Musial like as a roommate?
Well, Stan the man was just a gentleman the whole word through, all the way through. You know what I mean? He loved to, autograph things for people, and and do his job or whatever. He wasn't just brush him aside. You know what I mean? He was the kind of guy that he just loved the game, and he even started his Stan the Man deal after he retired in baseball. And we had a thing going, last man standing. Well, I guess I'm the last man standing, and 1940, I wouldn't say the Cardinals were cheap, but they didn't like to spend money. And I had to sleep with him in the same bed.
That was how it was back in the day.
And he called me Wigglefoot because I wiggled my foot all night.
Some great stories. Hank Weaver, thanks so much. And I just want to show one more picture here of Hank as we send it back to you guys. This is Hank as a scout with the Padres. He mentioned that. He was also a scout under Gene Autry's Angels. So going way back. Once again, Hank, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back up to you. It's a great picture. Just some great memories for Hank Weaver in the sport of baseball.
Thank you, Jody, and thank you for your service, Mr. Weaver. I want to go out and have a beer with him.
Yeah.
What a terrific guy. Great story. He must have a million of them. A one-out double by Alexi Amarista has put a runner at second with 2 outs for Everett Cabrera, who grounded out his first time. The Arkansas Hummingbird.
How about that?
Old Wigglefoot. Get him on the 10th inning. You'd do a whole half hour on Mr. Weaver for the 10th inning show.
You're going down a slippery slope there, Jody, asking about rooming with Stan Musial. I can't remember who it was exactly. Somebody that had roomed with Babe Ruth, and they asked what it was like to room with Babe Ruth. He said, I roomed with his luggage.
Was it Jimmy Reese? Might have been Jimmy Reese.
I think you're right. Jimmy Reese, longtime coach with the Angels. And
he wasn't around the room, huh?
I roomed with Babe's luggage.
Amarista takes off for third, and he'll get in there as the ball kicks away from Miguel Montero. So the Padres with a run at third base here with 2 outs.
Amarista breaks almost immediately for third base. That's one aspect of the game that's really improved over the last few years. Guys anticipating that ball in the dirt, realizing how tough it is not only to block a pitch in the dirt, but then recover, get to the ball, make an accurate throw. Amarista on his toes, able to advance 90 feet on that wild pitch.
And Cabrera ahead of McCarthy, 2 balls and a strike. Cabrera had a good start to the season, hit over 280 in April, but this month he is batting more than 100 points below that. 2-2. Martin Prado got him. Quite a contrast in the defensive third between the Padres and the Diamondbacks, and it's one big reason why the D-backs hold a 2-0 lead. Saved a run there at third.
No doubt about it. You see how shallow he's playing, protecting against a possible bunt for a base hit. Just has time to take a couple of quick steps and a dive to his left. Quickly gets to his feet. What a play.
And Cabrera can fly up that line, so the clock was ticking down on Martin. But they strand the runner at third and send us to the home half, where A.J. Pollock leads it off against Tyson Ross.
Attempt to bunt for base hit right there, something we've seen very little of from the Diamondbacks offense. Maybe we'll see a little more of it moving forward as guys settle in, get a little more comfortable, take advantage of that defense.
I still can't get over how much they shift their center fielder. He's way over there, Amarista.
Occasionally you'll see a team overshift their center fielder when they have no confidence in their corner outfielders. Yeah, give that guy a little bit of help, in this case in right field, Seth Smith, occasionally in left field with Carlos Quentin. I mean, we know Amarista can cover a lot of ground, but boy, A.J. Pollock could split that gap in left center field. He could run all day.
A call and strike. It's 1-2. You've got Quentin in left, who has two bad knees. And you've got Seth Smith in right field. And, you know, he's not exactly going to win a Gold Glove out there. He's certainly adequate defensively. But Amarista has to cover a whole lot of ground all by himself out there in center. And he's a guy that oftentimes plays the infield, Alexi Amarista.
I mentioned earlier the Padres outfield had not made an error this season. And for those astute Diamondbacks fans looking at your stat sheet said, wait a minute, Amarista has an error, but it came when he was playing shortstop earlier this season.
A.J. over the glove of Cabrera at short. He lines it into left for a leadoff single. Hey fans, now's the time. Tweet us your photo using the hashtag AZFanPhoto. Your chance to have it shown in our broadcast later in the game. The Brenly Committee will peruse the photos and we'll have a winner for you later on. Brought to you by AT&T.
Thinking about drafting Brandon Webb to be on the committee. Here at the ballpark today, part of the pregame show.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pitcher perspective on it. We don't want to overwhelm the governor. He has a lot on his plate. Giving us the accurate weather forecast. Ronald Parra, strikeout victim his first time. A.J. Pollock 6-for-7 in his stolen base attempts this year. Pollock holds. Parra lifts it into center. It backs up Amarista, still backing up at the track. And he's got it. A.J. hustled back to first. He thought about tagging up. The ball was hit so deep to center field. But he'll stay put there. That's the first out.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
Here's Goldie. Five hits in 6 games on the road trip into Busch Stadium and Citi Field. That includes 3 doubles. And he is still leading the major leagues with 21 doubles. Goldie was tied with the Mets' David Wright for the league lead in hits coming into the ball game. Daniel Murphy right there as well. We just saw the Mets over the weekend. Where for some reason, whenever the Diamondbacks are in town, it always rains.
Keeping an eye on A.J. Pollock over there at first base. We mentioned 6'5", 223, long arms, long legs. It takes him a while to get his body turned and snap that throw over to first base. A.J. could probably get another half step or maybe a full step on that leadoff.
That pitch has been kryptonite for Goldie this year.
It's been kryptonite for a lot of hitters this season, coming from Tyson Ross. Swing and miss at that pitch almost half the time that he throws it.
Why he throws it so much, I guess. 35%. There it is again. 0-2. Well, Tyson Ross faced the Diamondbacks 4 times last year, including 3 starts, and had a 1.96 ERA versus the Diamondbacks last season. 23 innings of work, 20 strikeouts against only 14 hits, and he's ahead of Goldie 0-2. Take a look at the move from Tyson Ross.
Well, that almost looked like a balk. The front leg looked like it buckled before he broke contact with the rubber.
A ball and 2 strikes. Seems like Goldie's always a little better in a bigger spot. And there's just one more example. AJ holds again. Goldie. He did not go. That's first base umpire Eric Cooper down there, the crew chief today.
We talked about Rivera earlier and what a great receiver he is back there behind the plate. How he helps out this Padres pitching staff. I think he just dropped a strike right there. Looked like a pretty good pitch, but supposed to catch the strikes.
On the ground at third. Henley, Jerko, Alonso. They roll the double play. And Ross is out of the third. Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead.
The Arizona Diamondbacks would like to thank all fans and
against the Cincinnati Reds. First 20,000 fans get this Mark Trumbo t-shirt. It's courtesy of Fry's Food Stores. Mark designed this himself with the help of our friends at Fry's. For tickets, go to dbacks.com/tickets, and we'll see you with us Saturday for the D-backs and Reds at Chase Field. Kirk Gibson wants a moment with Paul Nard out there. Can't imagine what this is about. They're going to call in the crew chief Eric Cooper now from first. Could this be a lineup issue?
I don't see anything out of the ordinary based on the lineup on the board here and what we have in our scorecards.
Anyway, they felt the need to bring in the crew chief, and now they're calling for Bud Black from the Padre dugout.
Sure, I mean, you would assume this has something to do with the batting order or the lineup. Somebody maybe listed out a place on the official lineup card that Kirk Gibson has over in that third base dugout.
I guess that's that.
Now they're signaling. They're going to check with the red hat. That person is the red hat that notifies the TV crews about a review process. Now you can check for scorekeeping mistakes and various paperwork issues using review. You can use review for record keeping, such as ball and strike count, outs, score, illegal substitutions, or a rules check. And now all 4 umpires have huddled up next to home plate. And whatever it is, they decided that nothing's wrong, and I think we're set to resume here. And now the third base umpire, Chris Guccione, is informing Kirk Gibson about the convention over there. And we're set to go. Well, whatever Gibby was suggesting had taken place, certainly got them all together to have a look. Instead, Seth Smith is set to lead off the 4th for the Padres. And once again, the Diamondbacks go into heavy shift mode. Most of the D-backs defenders are on the right side of the field. And you see Martin Prado on the grass halfway between second and third.
This is the 11th hitter in the game that Brandon McCarthy has faced. 7 of the first 10 saw 3 or fewer pitches. Very aggressive swinging early in the count, and part of the reason is of those 10 batters he faced, he threw 9 first pitch strikes.
2-1. Well, Brandon has been excellent the first time through the order. In fact, if you count today, in each of his last 5 starts, he has kept the opposition scoreless the first time through. This was well hit deep to center field. A.J. Pollock at the wall. That is off the wall, and Seth Smith is headed for third. He's out at third. The Diamondbacks execute the relay, and once again, a big contrast in the defense between these 2 ball clubs, and it's an out for the Diamondbacks. Seth Smith never hesitated coming around second. He was going for third all the way.
A.J. Pollock got a little bit too close to the barrier that time. The ball bounced back, hit the warning track, but fortunately for the Diamondbacks, Cody Ross right there backing up the play, quickly got it into Cliff Pennington. Strong relay throw onto Martin Prado. Ooh, very close over there.
And now Bud Black is out there talking to Paul Nard, going into stall mode while the Padres video staff takes a look at this play.
And you can see because of the umpire's rotation, it was the home plate umpire who ended up making the call at third base, and now we are going to have a challenge.
Paul Nart rotating over. You have to have an umpire go deep out to center field to check on the ball that hits off the wall. So in the rotation, it's Nart behind the bag at third making the call, and we are looking at a Padre challenge. And they may have a pretty decent case here. Did he get him on the forearm before the foot hit the bag?
It was the tag on the leg. It looked like maybe Seth Smith got in underneath of that tag, but I think he made contact with the forearm right there as the glove went by before the foot was on the bag.
Yeah, I think the Diamondbacks have the out here. Excellent work by our camera crews in Fox Sports Phantom Cam. And they have shown the replay on the big board here at Chase Field, and the fans think this is an out at third.
There was some misplaced aggression on the part of Seth Smith right there. We've talked about the Padres and how they've struggled to hit, struggled to score runs, and when that's the case, everybody usually tries to do a little bit too much. He was already in scoring position at second base with nobody out here in the fourth inning. Tried to stretch it into a triple, and certainly looks like he was tagged out at third base.
And that was a tremendous relay from Chris Owings, the shortstop, who fired that into Prado to get Smith, at least for now. As Pollock got a little too deep on that one. Watch the relay here from Cody Ross, and then the throw from Chris Owings.
On the money. I stand corrected. I said Cliff Pennington made that relay throw. He would have made a good throw too, but it just so happened to be Chris Owings that time who took the throw from Cody Ross and put it right on the bag at third.
And you can tell how close this is because this review is taking a while. We saw this on a very close play in the last series in New York.
Hopefully those umpires who are in charge of the reviews in this game back in New York saw that brush of the forearm that we saw on the replay.
You have to see clear and convincing evidence that Smith was in to overturn the call on the field. And I'm not sure we have it here. In fact, this one almost confirmed that he was out. You can see his arm move before the foot hits the bag, but they are still looking.
Super slow motion on our Phantom Cam. That's the same technology that will be used in the postseason. Major League Baseball this year, the Division Series, the League Championship Series, and of course the World Series, so you can really slow it down and take a look.
Okay. I'm a little surprised this is taking so long, only because that great work by our crew here gave you a fairly definitive look, and now we are done. The call on the field is confirmed. He is out at third. So 7-6-5 on the put out at third, and there's one away in the fourth. I think that was a pretty impressive call by Paul Nart, the home plate umpire, to rotate over there and get it right on a very close play.
Hopefully that'll help Brandon McCarthy get through this fourth inning that's been a bad inning for him this season, basically because of one really bad inning in Chicago. First pitch swinging right to CO at shortstop, easy out at first base.
Boy, they have been all over that first pitch here today.
Third baseman Chase Headley.
So Quentin has been up and has twice grounded out. He's been the hot bat in the lineup, and with 2 outs, here's Chase Headley. The first time through the order, McCarthy has been excellent this year. Over his last 5 starts, again including today, he has allowed a total of only 5 hits the first time through the opponent batting order. And with as strong as we've seen Brandon this year, after that workout program, it's increased the velocity. You give him the early lead, he gets off to another good start. That's the formula for a solid day from the Diamondbacks starter. 2-0.
With the Diamondbacks coming off the doubleheader yesterday in New York, nobody was really overworked out of the D-backs bullpen. Trevor Cahill possibly unavailable today, but boy, you'd sure like to get some depth out of your starter today.
Once again, Pollock backing up at the wall. He's got room and he tracks it down. 2 deep flies to center against McCarthy. One for a double, ends up as an out at third. The other one sends us to the home half. A.J. Pollock, with some help from Chris Owings, Cody Ross, and Martin Prado, keeps it 2-0 D-backs. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox. The Navajo Code Talkers Veterans Memorial at Window Rock, Arizona, honoring 400 Navajos trained as code talkers, serving America on this Memorial Day here in Phoenix, Arizona. Chase Field, a terrific crowd here. This place is packed. The atmosphere is wonderful, and the Diamondbacks have a 2-0 lead in the home half of the fourth. Miguel Montero leads it off against Tyson Ross. Miggy grounded out his first time. There was more discussion between innings involving Kirk Gibson and the umpires here. And we have learned that the issue with Gibby was the Diamondbacks video equipment is not working, and he wanted to make sure that Bud Black was similarly handicapped so that everybody was fair on either side. That's a harmless foul for Alan Easter. So some issues with the D-backs video equipment, and Major League Baseball, and Bob, as you and I know, have gone out of its way to make sure that everybody has the same stuff, the same number of monitors, the same quality monitors, the phones all work. They're very careful to make sure that the away team is not at some sort of disadvantage.
And all that being said, and despite all the best efforts, occasionally you're going to have malfunctions. We were talking about it between innings there. I know it's a rule that if one of the bullpen phones go out, with either the home team or the visiting team, the other team has to surrender the bullpen phone just to make sure that both teams are operating under the same conditions.
And that is the bullpen phone through which the Diamondback dugout communicates with video coordinator Alan Campbell, who is the staff member who does such a great job for the D-backs, reviewing all those plays and giving Alan Trammell the word, thumbs up or thumbs down in terms of reviewable plays. So a little breakdown in the system here, and we'll see how that impacts the game as we move forward. 1-1 to Martin Prado. He singled and scored his first time. Shoots it down the right field line. Almost right to Ron Pennington down there. Ron was ready and had his glove up. Instincts kicked in as always. Our Golden Glover down there, and there's Gary Schiffman down the left field line. Keeping loose, he's ready at all times.
Anticipating, yeah.
I think Ron whiffed on that one, though. Kind of short-armed.
Just a little out of his range.
His range is about 1.5 feet either way.
Toe to toe.
I got you next time, kid.
It's got to be a tough decision for Ron down there on the right field line. Do you reach in and make the catch yourself, or do you let the fans attempt to make a catch? That was certainly the fans' ball. It was over the barrier. Ron's just giving everybody a chance to catch their own foul ball. Right, Ron?
2-2. It's full. Cody Ross on deck. Prado counting today has now hit in 5 of his last 6 games. Trying to get that bat going. It's a big one in this lineup, and it just hasn't quite shown up yet this year. Called strike 3. It backed Prado off the plate. And Paul Nart rings him up. That's 3 strikeouts for Ross.
That can be a devastating pitch when you're so accustomed to seeing sliders low and away, low and away, low and away, breaking away from you as a right-handed hitter. Every now and then Ross throws one to that front door. Martin Prado anticipating that pitch low and away, which is exactly where Rene Rivera wanted it, but Ross threw it on the inside corner and got the call.
I noticed that Cody Ross, as he steps in against Tyson Ross, has changed his walk-up music to Don Henley's Dirty Laundry.
To see what the significance of that could possibly be. Of course, it was a road trip. We just got home late last night.
Maybe it's a message to Summer to get the laundry done. I don't. She's got her hands full down there, Cody. I mean, you can hit the spin cycle yourself, can't you?
Troy Tulowitzki changed his walk-up music after Mike Krukow accused Tulowitzki and other Rocky hitters are perhaps stealing signs. He changed it to the ace of base. I saw the sign. That's great.
3-1.
Now, usually that walk-up music is not intended to send a message. It's, it means something to the player. Either it puts his mind in a good place to take that at bat, or it reminds him of a good time. Now we're making statements with our walk-up music.
Got to represent. Remember Miggy's walk-up music? That tortured us for the most of last year.
I think that's the key for Miggy's resurgence this year. That music was just dragging him down.
He wasn't the only one. There's a strikeout. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 4 for the game for Tyson Ross. We're through 4. It's a 2-0 Diamondback lead. Sanctuary Lake your link to watch next. More from Chase Field with Jody Jackson as we celebrate Memorial Day at the ballpark.
Diamondbacks in Folkestone Creamery.
Open now, and we bring you back here, Jody Jackson, alongside a bunch of families here and soldiers from the Arizona National Guard. In particular, this is the 153rd Brigade Support Battalion, and we're glad to be alongside Nick Miller, the fiance of Captain Megan Butler, and son Austin. And Nick, let me ask you, how much fun is this here at the ballpark today to share it with your son?
It's our first game together, and we went for a little spring training game. It's a lot of fun, though. He's having a blast. He gets to eat whatever he wants, and hopefully he'll go to sleep when he gets home.
Right, and there we have a home run by Yonder Alonso.
Into the pool, actually.
Into the pool, yeah. But let me ask you, Captain Megan Butler, your fiance is overseas. She's in Afghanistan right now. And how tough is it raising this young man right now with her overseas?
A lot harder than I had planned. He's a good kid. I mean, I have a lot of fun with him. It's good bonding time. I know she misses him like crazy. I miss her like crazy, so it's fair, but it's a little more difficult than I thought. I mean, I didn't plan on being a single dad, but I appreciate what she's doing, and it's a lot of fun for me and him. He's good. I mean, he's healthy.
He is super happy, and yes, we certainly appreciate your sacrifice, her sacrifice. You have some help. This is kind of like 3 men and a baby, but you have a guy, a girl, and a baby and yourself.
Yeah, I do. I got my best friend in life down here, Brendan, and then Gina, who I met when I got to Phoenix here. We play softball together a couple nights a week. And she's been a lot of great help, too. It's been good having help around because I think I'd have lost my mind by myself. But they've been both really good to me, so I owe them a lot.
It certainly takes a village, and we thank you for all you do. We thank Captain Megan Butler, and we love seeing Austin here today at the ballparks. But, guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Jody and friends. So Yonder Alonso, with his 3rd of the year, has put the Padres on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game now as Jed Jerko fouls that one back. And Alonso, we talked about the power outage throughout the Padre lineup. This is a guy, one of their key hitters, without a home run through the first month of the year. But lately has been coming around, hitting .240 in May. In fact, he had 2 homers coming into his tonight in his last 10 games, and now make it 3. And that's the 10th home run given up this season by Brandon. 1-2 on Jerko. So Yonder Alonso gets the Padres going offensively.
About how good Brandon McCarthy had been through the first 3 innings of his starts this year. From the 4th inning on, it got a little rough from time to time, especially the 4th inning in and of itself. 12 earned runs in 9 1/3 innings pitched in the 4th.
Bounces back and rings up Jerko for the first out in the 5th.
He was able to get through that 4th inning without any damage done, thanks to the overly aggressive base running of Seth Smith getting thrown out at third base, and now he comes right back after the solo home run to strike out Jed Jerko.
Brings up the catcher, Rene Rivera. Rivera grounded out his first time. Roof and panels now open in downtown Phoenix.
Lovely.
Now, I would think that would have some kind of impact, Bob, on the pitcher. You pitch half the game with the roof closed and the other half with it open.
Well, the pitchers that I had to deal with on a very close basis, they wanted that lid and the panels hermetically sealed and nailed shut.
Why is that?
They all felt that the ball carried much better under these conditions with the panels and the roof open.
Well, based on Alonso leading off the inning, they may have had a point. Now, if it wasn't the way they wanted it, then I'm guessing that you heard about it.
Oh, yeah. Like it was my fault. I wasn't in charge of the roof. As a matter of fact, I've told this story in the past. One time after giving up what this particular pitcher considered to be a cheap home run, he screamed at me in the dugout, "Close the roof." So I talked to Rich Dozier, the team president, and we came up with a game plan, and I went to the crew chief and said, "Listen, high winds on the way. If it gets over 15 miles an hour, we can't close the roof. So if you want to close it, we better do it right now." Well, then we better close it.
Now you had access to wind information that he did not.
Apparently, yeah. The governor, the Tom Skilling of the West over there in the booth next door, was giving us weather reports.
Greg Schulte, the Tom Skilling of the NL West, after his command performance in St. Louis when he guaranteed us it would not rain, and as usual he was 100% on the money. 3-2 on Rene Rivera. We're all opened up here at Chase. Bounce to short. Chris Owings. 2 down in the 5th.
It wasn't only the weather report that Greg gave us, it's the way he gave it. I mean, it would be like if we asked him tonight, "Hey, do you think it's going to snow?" I mean, he just waved us off. Nah, it's not going to rain.
Well, I kept checking in with him in St. Louis. I'd bang on the glass, and he just, kind of frankly just blow me off. Alexi Amarista doubled down the right field line his first time up. Martin Prado well in on the grass at third. Amarista up to a solid 200. He was on the interstate to open up the ball game. On this Memorial Day, Fox Sports Supports especially proud to recognize the Army's Gold Star Pin campaign, which honors the families of fallen service members. Learn more at goldstarpins.org. Backs him off the plate. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Off the fist, and it rolls in the left for a base hit. Amarista 2 for 2. Just squirted that one through the infield.
Pitcher Tyson Ross.
Took that exit off the interstate with his double back in the 3rd inning, and he wants to make sure he doesn't get back on that interstate. He just muscled that one through the left side of the infield, just past Chris Owings. We've had a few birds settling in the outfield grass here tonight.
A little bit of everything so far. And now that gives the Padres a chance to clear the pitcher spot in the inning. Here's Tyson Ross, who struck out looking his first time. And he laces that into right for a base hit. Parra coming up, throwing, and he throws it well over the head of Paul Goldschmidt. It's all well and good if you think you've got a chance to get the pitcher on that play on a hard hit ball to shallow right, but Gerardo got a little careless that time.
I got to be honest with you, I was anticipating Parra throwing to third base. Maybe Amarista testing the arm of Gerardo Parra, but he crossed me up trying to throw out Tyson Ross at first base. Fortunately, Miguel Montero right there to back it up.
So after the home run by Alonso to lead off the inning, a pair of 2-out singles will bring up Everett Cabrera.
That base hit into right field by Tyson Ross was a little reminiscent of Josh Colementer's base hit to right field on that last road trip. Remember, he swung late and hit the ball to right field, kind of caught us all by surprise. I think that caught Tyson Ross by surprise.
Coley from in the bucket just kind of flung the bat out there and knocked it down the right field line for a double. Everett Cabrera, a pair of groundouts, 0 for 2. Two on, 2 out, a run in. Ball 1. Cabrera, 27 April games, had 33 hits. That was the 4th most ever in the month of April by a Padre, and behind a pretty good list like Ken Caminiti and Dave Winfield and Adrian Gonzalez. But he has had a horrible month of May. And sure enough, he knocks that one out of here. Second home run in the inning. This is a 3-run shot, the 3rd of the year for Cabrera, and the Padres have the lead. It's 4-2. This was a guy hitting below 200 in May, but he's got a 3-run homer.
Well, the 4th inning had been the trouble inning for Brandon McCarthy coming into today. Got through that 4th inning okay, but now the 5th inning, he reared up and taking a big bite out of Brandon McCarthy. That's a long home run for a little guy.
Yeah, boy, he turned on that one. And, you know, your unnamed pitchers may have had a point, because since we opened the roof, Alonso hit one in the pool, and Cabrera at 5'10", 189 just launched one out of here to right.
And before that 3-run homer, Cabrera was 4 for 33 this season. That's a 121 batting average with runners in scoring position. That'll change.
And usually he's in there as the leadoff man, so he's certainly not an RBI guy, but he had 6 all year coming into the ball game, and he's got half that so far and won it back. And Seth Smith fouls that one away. He's down 0-2. Well, the Padres offense had vanished, but so far through 4 2/3, 4 runs, 6 hits, a pair of homers.
Man, that's exactly what you don't want to see in the first game of a series. You got a struggling offensive ball club. You'd like to just step on their neck and keep them down in game 1. Let them struggle throughout the rest of the series and move on and get hot somewhere else.
This is inside to Smith, and it's even 2-2 with a shift on once again for the left-hand hitter. He gets the strikeout with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but 2 home runs in the inning. Alonso and Cabrera have made it a 4-2 San Diego lead.
The first 20,000 fans.
conditioning, cool play of the game. The relay throw from Cody Ross to Chris Owings to Martin Prado. And Seth Smith is out. A terrific look at the play by our Fox Phantom Cam right there. Phantom Cam from Fox giving us the definitive look at it. And he is indeed out at third. That's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game.
A couple of good throws on that relay and a lightning quick tag by Martin Prado. That throw was up about shoulder high. He got that ball in his glove and slapped the tag down quickly.
Chris Owings. Theo struck out looking his first time. High in the air along the right field line. Who wants it? Seth Smith has it, one away. That's 6 in a row now, set down by Tyson Ross. Cliff Pennington, his first time up, hit a little chop infield hit to third that clanked off Headley's glove, rolled into center, was overrun by Amarista, allowing 2 runs to score. Cliff credited with an RBI on the infield single, so he got 1. That one is right back to the mound and in the glove of Ross. 2 outs in the 5th. FoxSportsArizona.com. All your online local sports coverage you can't find anywhere else. Jack Magruder with post-game analysis and reaction from the clubhouse. You'll hear from some veterans who joined us here at the ballpark today. And Warriors Among Us vignettes. All that and more at FoxSportsArizona.com on this Memorial Day at Chase Field. Our Honor Flag group at the ballpark with us today. Great to have him here. We'll talk more about that later in the ball game. Here's Brandon McCarthy.
Partner, they're partying at the corner of Clark and Addison today. Jeff Samardzija finally got his first win of the season.
You know, I'm a little upset, frankly. I wanted him to win the Cy Young without a victory. I think Brian Kenny's head would spin all the way around.
Yeah, go about 0-18 with an ERA under 2 and win the Cy Young award.
He was on course to do it. Yeah, they beat the Giants today. And Samardzija has had a sensational season, just pitching wonderfully, but it had no run support, no wins. Brandon McCarthy shoots it into the right field corner, and that is caught by Seth Smith, who makes a nice running catch to track it down and end the inning. 8 straight set down by Ross. Diamondbacks trail the Padres 4-2.
Stuff that we have, it's a long tradition of people serving and volunteering and keeping us safe and free. And I mean, there's countless people around the world right now who aren't with their friends or family because they're believe in and stand for something that's bigger than just themselves and put the country and God and everything above self. And it's pretty cool that they do that.
Couldn't agree more with Josh. That's our Geico quote of the game from the Diamondbacks starting pitcher with that American flag hanging in his locker at the D-backs clubhouse on this Memorial Day at Chase Field. Here's Ralphie, and he's got a big flag behind him. Servicemen and women all over the ballpark here. Terrific crowd at Chase Field, but the Diamondbacks are trailing the Padres 4-2, set for the top of the 6th inning.
It was a little deceiving today. The Diamondbacks gave out those camo T-shirts today. We're used to going to the ballpark, and it's very easy to quickly identify where the military is sitting in the ballpark because of the uniforms. But with the camo shirts today, it looks like we have service people all over the ballpark.
They look cool. Another great giveaway item here from the Diamondbacks to their fan base. Carlos Quentin knocks that one into left center field. A.J. Pollock over there quickly to cut it off, but with Quentin on 2 bad knees, he'll be content to stop at first.
I don't think Quentin's going to think about going for extra bases unless that ball splits a gap and goes all the way to the wall. You see A.J. hustling over there, but Quentin was laboring down that first baseline.
Chase Headley 0 for 2. He is flat out twice. Chase Headley, another key bat in this lineup, like Carlos Quentin, that was slowed by injuries this year. He missed 14 games with a right calf strain, suffered near the end of April. The same calf that he injured during spring training. And he was just activated by the Padres back on May the 10th. 2-0 was fouled off. Yeah, Headley was hitting under $190 when he got hurt, but he's picked it up since he's returned. He's hitting about .240 since he's been back. But still struggling, just .207 on the year coming into the ball game. On strike 2, says Paul Nart, 2-2. He went away, but he missed. It's full 3-2. 94 on that one. If there's any trouble.
Man of Steel.
Boy, he has really done some nice ab work. Right back to McCarthy. 1-6-3. Well, Bob, the Diamondback infield has turned into a double play machine these days.
It really has. A lot of pitchers that throw ground balls. Good defensive plays. Turned 5 in one game the other day. This is about as easy a 1-6-3 double play as you'll ever see. Nice shift out there by Chris Owings. Make sure he kept a foot on the bag to get that lead runner.
Yonder Alonso, last time he was up there in the previous inning, he hit one into the pool. For his 3rd home run of the year, this was Yonder Alonso to lead off the 5th. And he yanks that one hard down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's in the corner. Parra plays it off the wall, and Yonder Alonso, a home run, and now a double, his 12th double this season. Well, whatever was missing in Yonder Alonso's bat is coming back quickly here in this series.
Squared up a couple in this game. One to the pool in right center field, and a screaming line drive down into the right field corner. I'm sure Kirk Gibson feels the same way that most managers do. You hate to play a team when they have really been struggling offensively, because this is the big leagues. These guys have all been good hitters at some point in their careers, and you know they're going to snap out of it at some point.
Martin Prado has it at third and takes a base hit and likely a runaway. from Jed Jerko. Martin Prado having a sensational day defensively at third. He's already saved 1 run in the ball game and saved another one right there. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Eric Stultz, who's always given the Diamondbacks issues for whatever reason, against Wade Miley, matchup of left-handers here tomorrow night.
Wade Miley with a solid outing last time out against St. Louis in a 4-2 loss, hooked up against a really good Lance Lynn in that ball game.
Well, the Cardinals can throw some starting pitching at you.
Man, I'm telling you.
Wainwright, Walker, and Lynn were tremendous. And then Wainwright again last night at Cincinnati. Pitched very well. A.J. Pollock singled his last time up, 1 for 2. Tyson Ross has set down the last 8 he's faced. In fact, A.J.'s single in the third was the last Diamondback base runner. And Ross has been outstanding here in May. He's made 4 starts this month. In every one of those starts, he's gone exactly 7 innings and allowed only 1 earned run. His record this month, 2-1 with a 1.29 ERA. By Headley and into left. Pollock's aboard.
Right field.
Good start to the inning. AJ with that hard topspin ground ball. You see Headley drawn in a little bit at third base. AJ showed bunt earlier in the game. That's why I think it's important for those guys to have speed, to show bunt once in a while. Draw those corner infielders in just a little bit and then try to slap it by him.
Leadoff man aboard for Gerardo Parra. Parra has struck out and flat out 0 for 2. And again, you see Amarista, the center fielder, really shifting over there defensively. Playing near left center field, so a big gap out by the pool for Parra. In fact, with AJ's speed, there's a good chance he scores on anything hit out there. But Parra shows bunt, and it's a good one. He's aboard. No play.
Perfect bunt. This turns into an Easter egg hunt. You're just looking for baseballs laying in the grass. That ball just died out there. No play for Rivera. Tyson Ross gets there, hopes that ball rolls into foul territory. Perfect bunt by Gerardo Parra.
So it's 2 on, nobody out for Goldie. A.J. Pollock at second, Gerardo Parra at first. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 2. He hit into a double play his last time up. Strike one. Looked like Goldie thought about it that time.
Yeah, rare first pitch changeup from Tyson Ross that time. I mentioned at the top of the show that's his third best pitch. He'll show it from time to time. Rarely do you see him start a sequence with it. Inside draws a reaction from the crowd here at Chase Field. Sure, no intention on Tyson Ross's part. He doesn't want to pitch himself into any more of a jam here. More than likely just to set up the next pitch on the outer half of the plate.
See where Rivera sets up. Two balls and one strike.
It's all part of the cat and mouse between a hitter and a pitcher. You see a fastball inside off the plate, very nearly hit Paul Goldschmidt right there. Well, as a hitter, you tell yourself, well, chances are that was designed to set up the next pitch away. But then there's a term that pitchers use, doubling up. You come inside with one fastball, the hitter's anticipating the next one away, you come right back inside with another fastball. You can think yourself into a slump at times, and Paul Goldschmidt's been pretty good throughout his career about just see ball, hit ball. Don't overthink the at bat.
Hitters count here 2-1. Again, it's in the dirt. 3 balls and a strike. Well, Ross started out with that changeup he threw for strike one, but since then 3 balls outside the zone, and has bounced a couple.
Goldie's been good in these situations lately. 6 for his last 11 with runners in scoring position, including 3 doubles and 2 homers, driven in 10.
Hit. They will wave A.J. Pollock, and he will score. It's a 1-1 ball game.
It doesn't always work out this way, but that's why you have your lineup set the way you do. You try to get some speed at the top, some on-base percentage guys at the top. For the guys that drive him in, Paul Goldschmidt with a hard ground ball through that left side. With A.J. Pollock's speed, he scores easily.
3 singles to open up the 6th for the D-backs, and it's Miggy time. Montero has grounded out and flied out 0 for 2. Tyson Ross had retired 8 straight going into this inning. But Pollock singled into left, a perfect bunt single by Parra. Then the RBI by Goldie. And now Ross is behind on Montero, 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Miggy slumping a bit lately, 1 for his last 23. Hard to right, a base hit. Here comes Parra. He will score to tie the game, and Goldie's headed for third.
ballpark here at Chase Field tonight. You'd never know these were two teams that have been struggling offensively coming into this series. 15 total hits, score tied at 4.
First 4 have reached with singles in the 6th for the D-backs. And some heads-up aggressive base running by Paul Goldschmidt has put the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and still nobody out. Darren Balsley, the Padre pitching coach, out to talk to his big right-hander, Tyson Ross. Padres bullpen will get busy. Nick Vincent, the right-hander.
I've been highly critical of a lot of players in the National League this year for their poor sliding technique. This is perfect. Paul Goldschmidt uses that front leg to hit the bag, stop his momentum, and stay on the base. I mean, we've seen guys flopping into foul territory, coming off the base, ending up reaching back with their fingernails, trying to hang on to the base. Goldie always hits the bag with that front foot, stops his momentum, and stays right there.
With the exception of Chris Owings, every Diamondback position player has got a hit, including Martin Prado, who singled and scored his first time. D-backs tonight, 3 hits with runners in scoring position. They had a total of 3 in their previous 3 games. As soon as we opened up the roof, the offense for both sides answered the bell. Here's the 1-0 to Prado.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. A day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Missed it. Goldie scores the go-ahead run. It's 5-4. He's been waiting for that first homer, and he just missed it there.
If there was a slightly shorter fence in left field, he would have had his first one right here. A rare hanging slider from Tyson Ross. It's just a couple feet from the top of the fence out there in front of the Diamondbacks bullpen.
A look on Phantom Cam as he barreled that one up. And Martin just 10 extra base hits through his first 51 games, still looking for that first home run, and he almost had it right there. 4 singles and a double to open the 6th, and that's it for Tyson Ross. Martin Prado has saved a couple of runs with his defense at third. He has scored a run. He has driven in a run with a single and a double. Well, he's been terrific at third. He's on APS Energy All-Star.
He's driven in a run with the bat. He saved a run at least with his glove down there at third base. That nice snap tag on that relay throw. This diving catch to his right. He's done it all tonight.
And he stands at second base. 4 singles and a double to open up the inning for the Diamondbacks. And the new pitcher for the Padres, the right-hander Nick Vincent. And he inherits second and third, nobody out. Montero, the runner at third. Prado at second. Here's Cody Ross. Cody singled and scored in the second. He's 1 for 2. So Cody now 6 hits in his last 8 games.
That's a straight fastball from Nick Vincent. He throws a lot of cutters. Over 50% of the time he'll throw that cut fastball, which reacts a little bit like a slider, moving away from that right-handed hitter.
Rolled is short. Cabrera has 1 play. They look the runners back, and Cody is out at first. That's the first out here in the 6th.
Shortstop, Chris.
So Vincent comes in and puts out the fire, at least for now. Here's Chris Owings, still the only Diamondback position player yet to get a base hit. He has struck out looking and flied out 0 for 2.
Join the party. Good time for his first base hit of the game right here with a couple guys in scoring position.
A ball and a strike. Nick Vincent has been a busy guy out of this Padre bullpen. He has pitched a scoreless ball in 16 of his 23 appearances so far this year.
There's a kind of a modified defense here. They're not all the way in because Miguel Montero is the runner at third base. The speed of the runner at third will tell you how close you need to play to home plate, and they're not quite all the way in, all the way around the infield, especially at shortstop where Cabrera is playing about halfway in.
We've seen this a lot from Chris lately, just fouling off pitch after pitch. He's shown a remarkable ability to hang in there on some of these at-bats. Randall Delgado now throwing in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
Three spots away from Brandon McCarthy, and I'm sure if Gibby had a chance to blow the game wide open with a pinch hitter, I'm sure he'd pull the trigger here in the 6th.
Staying alive. We've got Cliff Pennington in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot would be due up after that. You can see Eric Chavez standing there next to Kurt Gibson. Bat in hand, helmet on. So Chavez perhaps ready to get in there and hit for the pitcher. In fact, I think Brandon has just been told that.
Probably a lot of things depend on what happens in this at bat and Cliff Pennington's at bat. Not out of the question that Brandon McCarthy would hit in this inning and go back out.
He's got a bat. He's ready to go as well. And Delgado continues to warm. Conference time now with the mound for the Padres. Rivera and Cabrera.
Now this is a meeting strictly about the signs. Anytime you call in your middle infielder after a quick meeting with the catcher, it's usually to change the signs with the runner at second base. Martin Prado's seen a lot of signs from Rene Rivera, a lot of deliveries to Chris Owings, and Padres just trying to be extra careful that he's not relaying anything to the hitter.
Two misses away, and it's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Owings was behind immediately with the first pitch, but he fouled off a number of balls from Vincent, and now he's worked it back full. Montero is the runner at third, Prado at second. Already 3 runs in for the D-backs. Popped him up. This is playable for San Diego. Alonso. 2 down.
Second baseman, Cliff Pennington.
Could have just leveled this one out a little bit. You look for something up in the zone. You can hit in the air to the outfield. Unfortunately, Chris just got too far underneath it, popped it high in the air to the right side of the infield. Buddy Black wanted to. He could really force the issue right here. Go ahead and walk Cliff Pennington. I don't know why you would want to do that to get to Eric Chavez, who's in the on-deck circle, but that would get Brandon McCarthy out of the ballgame if you felt that was an advantage to your team.
Pennington an RBI single his first time. He's 1 for 2. And McCarthy batting gloves on, batting helmet ready to go. And Chavez in the on-deck circle. Cliff, the 8th man to hit in this inning. Diamondbacks opened up the 6th with 4 singles and a double to chase Tyson Ross. Vincent has come in and gotten a ground ball and a pop-up. Pennington had a pair of hits in the game Thursday night at St. Louis. And a base hit here would almost certainly score 2. Called strike 3. Nick Vincent comes in and gets 3 outs. And the Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 3. A big inning for Arizona. They now lead at 5-4. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. We'll talk to Rick Hardina, the Honor Flight president. He'll join us in the booth when we come back on this Memorial Day at Chase Field. Bob Brenly, joined in our booth here by Rick Hardina from Honor Flight. Rick, first of all, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate it.
And may I say how we appreciate being here, Bob. I mean, completely appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell us about Honor Flight. What is it? How does it work? How did it get started?
Well, Honor Flight started about 11 years ago in back east, and a physician's assistant was meeting with World War II vets who he said, have you been to your new memorial in 2004? And none of them had. So he,
in Washington, D.C.?
In Washington, D.C. He organized a group of, I believe, 12, took them to the memorial, and since then we've grown to 135 hubs nationwide.
135 all over America. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're giving the World War II veterans a chance to see these memorials and go to D.C.?
At absolutely no cost to themselves. And, of course, we take the ladies and men who served in World War II. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, no government support. And all of this money is raised independently and by certain corporations recently have been really, really helping the cause.
That's terrific. So if people want to get involved or donate, they can go to honorflightaz.org?
You better believe they sure can. Yes.
And you can see all the information in front of you here on our screen.
That's really incredible work that you do. I mean, I was thinking to myself, comparing it to ball players going to Cooperstown, New York, but the difference is the people that you take back to D.C. actually made the history. They're not just going there to look at what somebody else did.
You better believe it, and they are so appreciative of these trips. They're the greatest generation. Sadly, we're losing them, and time is our enemy at this point, and we are desperately looking for funding. And also, I have to say, Bob, I tell the public, send us your World War II vets. We can't find them anymore. They've disappeared, and if you have them, we'll get them there, pretty much, including those that might be in wheelchair bound, and even a few medical issues, we'll get them there, that's for sure.
Here's Rick, what are we looking at here with this picture?
You're actually looking at the World War II Memorial, and those statues all the way along represent all the states of the Union, and the central one section is Pacific. This I can't tell on this photo, and the other represents the Atlantic. All the battles from start to finish are listed at the bottom of these memorials, and it's so neat to have these vets be able to stand there and actually point to the places that they served so proudly.
Yeah, what is that moment like for you, as someone who has had such a big role in making this a reality?
I can't tell you how fortunate we are. We are the blessed ones to be able to travel with these men and women. Emotional. Here we are.
This is your group here today,
yeah,
right?
you never get over this. Average age is now 91. Last trip we carried, 2 trips back, we carried a veteran who was 3 months shy of 101 years old.
Wow.
We held him up, and he actually sang World War II songs both directions on the plane to the people on board the Southwest flight. And you just can't imagine the stories that we hear, and the stories from them, how appreciative they are of what we're doing for them.
2 quick outs in the 7th for Brandon McCarthy. Now Tommy Medica will hit for the pitcher. Tell us about the corporate involvement here from some of the companies, not just in the Valley, but all over Arizona.
I've got to say, our biggie really is Southwest Airlines. They've provided, I would say, millions of dollars nationwide.
Wow.
And this year they've donated 50 round trips to Baltimore, valued at probably $25,000, just Southwest. Our volunteers that work with Southwest phone ahead. The flight crews know we're coming. They're decked out. The captain knows we're coming, and it's a party from the beginning all the way through. We even have World War II quizzes on the plane for the passengers. We give out World War II prizes to them.
So double there for Tommy Medica.
And then also another thing, another group that's been amazing has been Boeing Corporation. And I have to mention them. They've been wonderful in facilitating sending groups of World War II vets. This photo is actually the largest flag in existence. This is taken at Fort McHenry, birthplace of the Star Spangled Banner.
Baltimore Harbor.
Yes, and these folks are rolling out the garrison-sized flag. Amazing thing for these guys to do. Also, they have a flag there that was actually flown on a battleship in the South Pacific, and very often some of the kids unroll that flag for the World War II veterans when we're there.
Pitching change at Chase Field. We'll be back with Rick Hardina and talk more about the Honor Flight program here in Arizona coming up.
D-backs fans, be back at Chase Field on Saturday, June.
Joe Thatcher in there with 2 outs in the inning. And he's in there to work to the switch hitting Everth Cabrera with Tommy Medica the tying run at second and 2 down. And once again, and Bob, the case of the one bad inning for Brandon McCarthy, had that a 4-run 5th. Other than that, he was outstanding.
He really was. We were worried about him getting through that 4th inning. He was able to do that okay, but then today it was the 5th inning that jumped up and bit him.
And so with Medica on second after that double, it's up to Thatcher to strand the runner and preserve that 5-4 lead. Rick, do you get to go out to a lot of D-backs games?
I had half-season tickets for a number of years, and honestly, because of Honor Flight, I had to give that up. I was missing so many games that this is sort of 7 days a week for many of us, and it just never stops. But we have to keep the pedal to the metal, mainly. Again, age of these veterans, we've got to get them out as fast as we can. So,
but you were telling me during the commercial break it got you down on the field today, right?
I told Fred, our 98-year-old vet I traveled with, I said for years I've always wanted to be down on that field. And gosh, Fred, thanks to you, I made it. And he said, it's okay, Rick. We call these guys and gals our national treasures, and they surely are.
That's for sure. 2-2 now.
Well, I got to tell you, Rick, just as a tourist, I've had a chance to go to the memorial in Washington, D.C., and it really is quite moving, and I would highly recommend anybody that gets a chance to go back to our nation's capital and check that out, please do.
Yes, exactly. Here's our best baseball player, huh? He's ready to roll.
I thought it was kind of funny when they took Hank out to the mound to throw the first pitch. He kept telling his guy, back up, back up. I want to go all the way back to the mound.
The real distance. No fooling around here. That's why I say.
There he is.
Yeah.
Back up.
And the sense of humor these people have is what's kept them going so long. What a blessing to even be around these folks. We learn a lot.
2-2 to Cabrera. This was Cabrera in the 5th. Rocket out of here to right.
Well, there's a lot of guys in this Padres lineup that you expect to jump up and get hot and maybe hit some home runs at some point. Everth Cabrera is not one of them.
Especially considering he'd been hitting about $180 here in May. And he's proving a tough out right now for Joe Thatcher, hitting this time from the right-hand side. Just missed there. 3-2. Didn't get the strike call from Paul Nart that time. Tommy Medica at second. He's the tying run. 2 outs, 3 balls, and 2 strikes to Everth Cabrera. Seth Smith on deck hitter. Down the line at third, and it's by Prado. Medica will score to tie the ball game, and Cabrera has his 4th RBI tonight, and it's 5-5. 4 RBIs, ties a career high.
Right fielder Seth Smith.
Martin Prado's made so many nice plays already in this game down there at third base. Looked like he got fooled by that one just a little bit. Kind of hesitated before making that dive to his right, and that gave that ball just enough time to sneak by into the left field corner.
And still some work to do here for Thatcher. Seth Smith doubled in the 4th. And he was thrown out at third, trying to stretch it into a triple on a great relay throw by Chris Owings from Cody Ross. And Cabrera takes off for third. No throw for Montero. The pitch is strike 1. That's his 11th stolen base. Good jump against the left-hander.
Yeah, Thatcher can be extremely slow getting that crossfire delivery set up, and that time Cabrera just took advantage. Not even a chance for a throw from Miguel Montero.
Smith into right. Power comes in, and they will strand Cabrera at third base. But the Padres tied up. Rick Hardina from Honor Flight, Arizona. Rick, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate the exposure and letting the world know we're looking for your World War II vets from Arizona.
HonorFlight.org. We'll stay right here at Chase Field on this Memorial Day and pause to honor America.
Organist Bobby Freeman and the Valley Honda.
Honor Warriors Among Us. In 2007, Danny Dudek was paralyzed from the knees down from an IED blast in Iraq. Since, he has gone on to win 7 gold medals at the Warrior Games. Also, Danny has completed half marathons and sprint triathlons. Danny continues to remain active, serving in the Army's Warrior Transition Command Unit. Fox Sports and USAA honor Lieutenant Colonel Danny Dudek.
New pitcher for the Padres. This is the right-hander Dale Thayer. He will work to the pitcher's spot, and hitting for Joe Thatcher is Aaron Hill, who was not in the starting lineup after fouling the ball off his ankle in New York, but he can give Kirk Gibson one at bat here. The numbers on Thayer. We're joined at the booth by Brandon Webb. Webby, well, once again, Brandon McCarthy terrific, except for just one terrible inning, and that happened again here today.
Seems to be the case for him all year. I don't know what it is. Cruising along again, and I think BB was saying it's usually the 4th inning, but today it was 1 inning later. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know if he loses it or what.
I don't know. I mean, the one in Chicago against the White Sox, it was just a matter of location. Everything was belt high down the middle of the plate, breaking balls, fastballs, everything he threw was right there, very hittable in Chicago. But boy, against this Padres offense that have been struggling so mightily coming into this game, you just didn't expect that.
And against the Diamondbacks in the 7th, the Padres, a pair of 2-out doubles by Medica and Cabrera, have tied the ball game at 5 apiece, and we're in the home half of the 7th, joined by Brandon Webb at our Fox Sports Arizona booth. A.J. Pollock 2 for 3, a pair of singles. And I guess, Webby, we could say the same thing for Tyson Ross, who was rolling along there, 8 straight set down, and then suddenly 4 singles and a double by the D-backs to open up the 6th.
Yeah, he was really cruising along. I felt like he was having he wasn't even putting any effort into it, not even sweating a bit, just everything right where he wanted it. Threw a ton of sliders. They were really nasty early on, and that last inning, I don't know, we opened up the roof and scored a ton of runs, and that slider wasn't biting near as much, and was just hanging some pitches. That's all it is.
You're probably a good guy to ask. We were talking about the difference, roof open, roof closed. How did you feel pitching in this ballpark?
For me, being a ground ball pitcher, it didn't really matter to me if the roof was open, windows open, or closed. But for pitchers, you know, when Kurt was pitching,
you just you're not supposed to identify them by name.
You better not have it open.
Out to Cabrera. The cat is out of the bag.
Well, listen, I'll say in Kurt's defense, he wasn't the only one.
Were there guys that you pitched with that you don't have to say their names, but were they a little
yeah. I mean, this is a pitcher's park, no doubt. Even being a ground ball pitcher, that grass is about 1 millimeter short, and it plays like AstroTurf, the old school AstroTurf. So it was, really, really fast. It's also a hitter's ballpark. The ball carries, and then you open the windows and the roof, and you get a little wind going through here. It flies.
Arnold Parra singled and scored his last time. Oh, you're a good guy to have up here, because we've just been told that Hyunjin Ryu, who was pitching a perfect game for the Dodgers against the Reds at Dodger Stadium, has just given up a base hit.
Oh, okay.
Look out! Thayer can't find it. Still time to throw out Parra. Well, Webby, you made quick work of that inning.
Hey.
We'll see you on Diamondbacks Live after the ball game. One more look. Dale Thayer Ford. The best play is Sanderson Ford.
And welcome back. Top 8 tie game. And the presenting sponsor of our Memorial Day broadcast is Sanderson Ford. Jody Jackson alongside Director of Marketing from Sanderson Ford, Max Surstens. Max, happy Memorial Day to you. And I know it's very important with Sanderson. You presented a check earlier today for $50,000 to the Military Assistance Mission. Tell me why you chose that particular charity.
Margie Bonds is the CEO of MAM. She lost her son many years ago. So it's not many, a few years ago. And what we like about MAM is they give to active military, and they take care of, they give the soldier, the troops, the assurance, and the families of, if your car breaks down, the washer goes bad, you can't make your car payment for whatever reason, they're there to help. So it gives the assurance that they're taken care of. It's a great charity.
It's a great, great cause. How did you raise the funds?
We do a Veterans Day golf tournament. But we also do Evening on a Diamond, where Cody Ross bought an MVP custom Ford Tough truck that we built. It was pretty cool. So we used part of those funds, too, to give to MAM.
We're so glad to have you with us on this holiday. And finally, Sanderson Ford has a tradition on this particular holiday, don't they?
Being closed. I'm very grateful. I feel very thankful today to work for Sanderson Ford, for David and Sue Kimberly, who choose to close. We're closed every Sunday. But then to close on Monday, I mean, it was never meant to be a big shopping day, and that's what it's become. I mean, it's a day to reflect about, those that paid the price so we could have our freedom. It's really cool to have a day off today.
Max, thanks so much again.
Thank you.
And Sanderson Ford, a big day, like Max said, shopping, but Sanderson Ford wants to pay tribute to those who have fallen serving our country, guys.
First baseman,
Jody, thank you, and thanks to everyone at Sanderson Ford. Bob, I think that says a lot about the people that run Sanderson Ford, that they're closed today. They're not thinking about money or anything else.
Yeah, Sanderson Ford is involved in just about everything good that happens here in the Valley. Very involved in a lot of different charities, and we tip our caps to them.
Brad Ziegler, a one-out single to Chase Headley here in the 8th. Yonder Alonso, a home run, a double. His bat has come alive already in this series. Came into the ball game hitting under 200 on the year. And we mentioned that Hyunjin Ryu, one day after Josh Beckett threw a no-hitter for the Dodgers, had a perfect game going at Dodger Stadium against the Reds. But Cincinnati has a base hit, and now they have a run. It's 4-1 LA in that game in the 8th. So stand down on the back-to-back no-hitters. That had never happened in baseball history. We know about Johnny Vandermeer. That's one thing, consecutive starts, but no-hitters by the same team on back-to-back days when a doubleheader was not involved. And so they had 17 no-hit innings from Beckett and Ryu. In fact, you have to go back all the way back to 1981 to find the last time a team pitched 16 consecutive hitless innings. That was the Astros. Coincidentally, held the Dodgers to 16.
Think about that Dodgers pitching staff. If they get the guys lined up exactly right and they go out there and do what Don Mattingly expects them to do, it's not out of the question they could throw some back-to-back no-nos.
Yeah, if you were going to pick a team to do that, you'd probably pick LA or the Cardinals. Teams the Diamondbacks have seen a lot of lately. Well, Brad Ziegler has worked a lot. On for the 29th time already. This is game 53. Two balls and one strike to Yonder Alonso.
Well, looking at that Dodger staff, you might not pick Josh Beckett and Ryu to be the two guys to throw a no-hitter and play with a no-hitter with Greinke and Kershaw at the top of that rotation, but it just goes to show you in Major League Baseball on a given day, you get a pitcher out there feeling it, hitting his spots, defense making plays behind him, anything can happen.
Alonso swings at the frisbee from Ziegler. 2 down.
Hey fans, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers who watch every out-of-market game live on over 400 devices. Visit dbacks.com for details.
2 down. Jed Jerko is 0 for 3. And at 166 on the year. Just back in time, says Eric Cooper. And here comes Kirk Gibson. We might have a look. Ooh, they might have a case here.
Yeah, Goldie immediately turned to that third base dugout and waved for Gibby to come on out. Very, very close.
They're going to take a look. Diamondbacks challenge. Alan Trammell speaking with video coordinator Alan Campbell. And Trammell's been given the word. Yeah, I think we got a shot at this one.
It was initiated with a manager challenge by the Arizona Diamondbacks.
This is a manager challenge from Kirk Gibson. One more look. Let's expand our view on this if we can.
That the runner is safe at first base.
So many times that first baseman will take the pickoff throw from the pitcher and slap the tag on the back of the arm as the guy's sliding back in, but it looked like Goldie took the tag right to the base.
Well, if the call is overturned, that would be the end of the inning.
Watch Paul Goldschmidt's glove go right back to the base. Ooh. So many times you take that pickoff throw from the pitcher and you just tag the first thing you see, which is normally the back of the arm, the shoulder, sometimes the midsection as that guy's diving back into the bag at first.
A little discussion here with Chase Headley and Paul Goldschmidt. They'll both either be left standing there or neither one will be.
Bobby Freeman's got me on this one. I don't understand the significance of smoke on the water as we're waiting for this challenge to be determined.
Well, I suppose you have to have a number of replay songs in your arsenal because you're going to go through them a couple of times.
Oh, sure.
Replay is call on the field stands, which means there is no clear and convincing evidence to overturn the call. Call stands, and that takes care of the Diamondbacks challenge.
The runner is safe at first base.
So Headley will stay put at first with 2 down.
I'm surprised it was even as close as it was. Headley didn't look like he was, breaking for second or anything like that. Just had a normal size lead, and according to the challenge and the replay, and the umpires just barely got back in ahead of the tag. Oh, might as well try it again.
And so we're in the 8th inning, and the Diamondbacks have used their challenge. So now it's up to the umpires.
That time it looked like he was able to get back in. And once again, very close. He's only attempted 1 stolen base. He was successful.
It seems like it might come under some sort of advanced scouting heading where they might have a note that says Headley is particularly susceptible to getting picked off, either by the way he leads or leans toward the bag. He's got a fairly pronounced lead over there.
Maybe slow reacting back to the base on pickoff throws, whatever it may happen to be. Advanced scouts are always watching for little things like that that maybe don't show up obviously, but if you see enough games and you see the guy on base often enough, sometimes you can find something that'll help your team win a game.
0-1 to Jed Jerko. Base hit. AJ over to cut it off. Headley heads for third. He'll get there. Jerko into second, and he is out. Once again, a Padre base runner tries to go 90 feet too far and gets himself thrown out. San Diego would have had runners at the corners. Instead, that's the end of the inning. Jerko is out at second, and we go to the bottom of the 8th in a 5-5 ball game. Open now. Very entertaining ball game on this Memorial Day at Chase Field. And as promised earlier, it's the AT&T fan photo of the game using the hashtag AZFanPhoto. And on this Memorial Day, the winner is Jim. It looks like the Diamondbacks cancer run from earlier this year.
I believe that's exactly what it is. I encourage all fans to get involved with that.
Brought to you by AT&T. A tremendous crowd of more than 35,000 here at Chase Field. And tonight, our day of game ticket sales, more than 5,500. That's the biggest since August of 2008. 5,500 walked up to the ballpark, and they have joined us here at Chase. And all the kids today got in free. And that'll be the case Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here as well. Kids 12 and under get in free with a purchase of an adult ticket for anywhere in the ballpark. New pitcher for the Padres. New veteran Joaquin Benoit, a 1.99 ERA in 22 appearances.
Fastball changeup slider combination from Benoit. Likes that changeup.
Defensively, Bud Black, as he likes to do, has rotated his outfielders around. Alexi Amarista has moved from center over to left, and Cameron Maben is in the ballgame now. And Maben hits in the 9th spot. He's playing center. So the pitcher spot is now 3rd in the Padre order. (3-0) to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie, an RBI single. He scored a run his last time up, 1 for 3. Three and 1. It's full.
That may be a called strike, but that's not really a pitch you want to swing at right there in a 3-1 count. That knee-high fastball on the outside corner.
Goldie continues to chase that pitch, and that's the first out in the 8th. Speaking of no-hitters, this may ring a bell for you, my friend. Curt Schilling working on a no-hitter until that.
Are you kidding me?
Coincidentally, the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Reds actually tried that twice in the 6th inning today against Hyunjin Ryu. It didn't work. Miguel Montero. What is, by the way, since we're on the subject, your thoughts on the matter?
Let's go back to the tape.
I just mean in general, not that specifically that case per se.
My opinion is, if a guy's got a no-hitter, perfect game, whatever the case may be, and you've got Everest Cabrera coming up to the plate, a guy who bunts for a base hit all the time, or back in the day, a Brett Butler type, somebody who bunts for a base hit as part of their offensive arsenal, I don't really have an issue with it. But according to reports from the San Diego Padres organization and many of his teammates, nobody can ever remember Ben Davis trying to bunt for a base hit at any level of the minor leagues or major leagues except to break up Curt Schilling's no-hitter. I had an issue with that. Strategically, yeah, probably you try to get on base, make something happen, set it up for the guy behind you, but I got to stick up for my guy. I didn't like it.
And you watched there a moment ago with Miguel Montero. Already 2 strikes into the count. Chase Headley walk all the way over and stand where the second baseman would be, and Cabrera remains in his natural spot at short. And they get Montero on the strikeout as Rivera throws it up. How about that? They didn't shift over there, Bob, until they had 2 strikes on Miggy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, normally you might play the shift early in the count when a guy's a little more aggressive in his swing, a little more likely to pull the ball. But with 2 strikes, you would think that's when you might want to play your defense a little more straight up. But Padres did exactly the opposite of what you might expect. Tell you one thing I do like that the Padres did there, if you are going to play a pull shift like that, I like the idea of leaving the shortstop on the left side of the infield and moving the third baseman to the pull side of the field. Shortstop has much more range than the third baseman. He's used to making the plays on that left side of the infield.
There's always the argument that that's one fewer guy out of his natural spot too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
oftentimes the third baseman is over there playing shortstop, and
the shortstop's over there playing deep second base somewhere. But yeah, I always like the idea of leaving the shortstop on the left side, since he's the guy that figures to have the best range and has the most ground to cover.
Martin Prado, a single, a double. He has scored a run and driven in a run. Martin has hit in 5 of his last 6 games, 4 RBIs over that span. His double in that big 6th inning for the Diamondbacks. About 3 or 4 feet shy of a homer's. Would have been his first of the year. He's ahead 2-0.
If he'd been able to pull that ball about another 5 or 6 feet, it sneaks over that fence down in the left field corner, but the area he hit it just didn't get it up high enough.
Three-0. Two-out walk to Prado.
Left field, Cody Ross.
Go ahead, run aboard for the D-backs. A chance for Cody. Single. He scored a run in the second. 1 for 3. Benoit's been a little bit all over the place in this outing.
2 quick strikeouts to start the inning, and then he walks Prado. Very nearly threw that one to the backstop. Quick reactions by Rene Rivera to get to that one.
I'm kind of digging the 5-10 start. You had the roof closed. And around about 4th or 5th inning or so, we opened everything up. We had some daylight. Now we've got some dusk here in downtown Phoenix. We've had great defense in the ball game. We've had great pitching at times. We've had big offensive innings. A little bit of everything on this Memorial Day at Chase Field.
It gives the fans a chance to get in out of the triple-digit temperatures, come inside Chase Field where it's nice and cool, watch the first few innings of the ball game, and then really enjoy it with the roof and panels open.
Beautiful night. So come on down for the next 3 games here at Chase. Kids get in free, 12 and under, purchase of an adult ticket. 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. And a huge walk-up crowd today. Diamondbacks fans really responded. More than 5,500 walked up. We've got 1,200 kids in the ballpark with us today, and they all got in free. So take advantage of the offer this week. We'll see you down here. There's a strike, 2-2.
Just like that, Benoit, who had seemingly lost his command there for several pitches, just comes right back, throws a 2-0 fastball down the middle, and then paints the outside corner, or got the call on the outside corner with a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
Hopped off the rubber that time.
Yeah, very definitively broke contact with the rubber with that right foot. At that point, he becomes an infielder and doesn't have to make that throw to first base.
Another wild one that Rivera leaps up and snags, and it's full. 3-2, 2 outs. So Prado will be off from first on the pitch.
Saw Rivera there reminding his infielders with a 3-2 count, 2 outs in the inning. The runner at first is going to be on the move. Any ground ball, your play's at first base.
And you see that big gap in left center field for Cody. There goes Prado. Padre outfielders are well back near the warning track.
A little different makeup to the outfield now with Carlos Quentin on the bench. Amarista moves over to left field, and Cameron Maben with great speed in center field. And they are playing with their heels on the warning track, trying to avoid an extra base hit, which could possibly score Martin Prado from first base.
He's the go-ahead run with 2 outs. Rivera can hang on. That would have ended the inning, and Cody's got second life.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
A Kachinko player today won a free Aaron Hill signed game piece. Here goes Prado again. Cody lifts it in the air to center, right at Maben. We head to the 9th on this Memorial Day at Chase Field. The Padres and the D-backs all tied at 5. It's a 5-5 ball game, and we have had a wild one on this Memorial Day in front of 35,000 plus.
Yeah, the Padres have kind of shot themselves in the foot a couple times. Bad defense in center field. Alexi Amarista just runs past the ball. A couple of bad base running plays, overly aggressive. We mentioned the Padres have had trouble generating offense, but ran into a couple of ugly outs on the bases tonight as well. But they stand here in the top of the 9th inning, tied with the Diamondbacks at 5.
Rene Rivera leads it off. He's 0 for 3. And Brad Ziegler has pitched a lot lately back out there for his second inning of work. Gave up 2 singles in the inning. One that Jerko tried to stretch into a double ended it. Padres would have had first and third with 2 outs at a tie game. Instead, it ended the inning. Well, he can make some guys look silly and frustrated. Rene Rivera can take you deep. He's got 3 homers as a starting catcher. This is his 20th start behind the plate. And for a long time, they had 3 catchers on the roster. Nick Hundley was just dealt to the Baltimore Orioles. They picked up Troy Patton, the left-hand reliever. Second strikeout for Ziegler, 1 away in the 9th.
Left fielder Alexi
Brings up Alexi Amarista, who's got a pair of hits, a double and a single. He scored a run. Martin Prado well in on the grass at third. We'll get a little closer as Ziegler delivers. It's lifted over his head, down the left field line, and hooking out of play. Just by Gary Schiffman, our Golden Glover down there. Paul Goldschmidt tackles that one. Ziegler hurries. Got to with Amarista's speed. And they throw him out.
Well, it looked like it might split the gap. You see Goldie was shifting to his left just a little bit, anticipating. Ball instead was hit back to his right. He makes a nice quick adjustment, just smothers that ball. Nicely done.
Number 8.
Well, the pitcher spot 9th in the San Diego order, and Yasmani Grandal will take the AB. Grandal in a tailspin right now. He's at 202 on the year. He is just 2 for his last 29 up there. His average has crashed by 50 points over the last 10 days or so. Chops that one foul. Quickly it's 0-2. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th will have Chris Owings, Cliff Pennington, and the pitcher spot 7, 8, and 9. 0-2 on Grandal. Oakland stays busy. Pair of right-handers, including the closer, Houston Street.
Assuming it'll be Kevin Quackenbush if the game stays tied at 5, and Padres find a way to score here with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Grandal, and we see Houston Street. Nice crowd tonight, and all have stayed here. This is a tremendous night for baseball.
More than 35,000 with us at Chase. 5,500 of those walk up, taking advantage of the Diamondbacks offer. Kids 12 and under getting in free with the purchase of an adult ticket. It is good for the next 3 days, so come on down and join us. 1-2. A lot of kiddies at the park tonight. The camo jerseys, another great giveaway item. And they've seen a really entertaining ball game.
good way to describe it. Entertaining. Hasn't always been solid fundamental baseball. It hasn't always been pretty, but it certainly has been entertaining.
Diamondbacks got 2 in the second. Padres had a big fifth with 4 against Brandon McCarthy. Then the Diamondbacks answered with 3 in the sixth. Padres tied it in the seventh. And finally, Ziegler able to strike out Grandal. That's 3 strikeouts for Brad Ziegler. And he sends us to the bottom of the ninth in a tie game at Chase. Today, 10 Days of Thunder. Fox Sports 1's 10 Days of Thunder concludes with a special salute to the troops. The Army's elite battle each other in the best Ranger competition. Then Fox Fight Night will come to you live from Fort Bliss, Texas, Memorial Day on Fox Sports 1. Bottom 9 at Chase Field. New pitcher for the Padres. Their 5th pitcher of the ball game. It's the big right-hander, 6'4", 220. It's Kevin Quackenbush.
You might want to make fun of his last name, but you certainly won't make fun of his numbers. You look back to his minor league, 3 different seasons, 5 different stops. Eugene, Fort Wayne, Lake Elsinore, San Antonio, and Tucson. An ERA combined 0.81.
That's effective.
Woo, 141 strikeouts in 99 2/3 minor leagues innings.
Just called up from AAA El Paso on May 17th. Chris Owings leads off the 9th. And they are still shifting their center fielder well over. This time it's Maben who's out near the pool. Look at all that room in left center for CO.
Maben always plays deep in center field, even when it's not a no-double situation. Fastball, curveball, splitter combination from Quackenbush.
He's from the University of South Florida. 8th round pick in 2011. Chris Owings still the only Diamondback position player without a base hit in the ball game.
Gotta fix that.
Well, these Padres relievers are like the Red Sox last year. Some of these guys have some major league facial hair. Pitcher spot due up 3rd in the inning. 2-2. Had Thayer, who can really bring some whiskers at you. Quackenbush. Beard blends right into his hat. Those relievers always have a thing. Every bullpen group, they're kind of their own guys, their own little core group out there. Not a clique per se, but they spend all that time together. Pirates had the Shark Tank. They did that thing where they bang on the roof with the out there during rallies. That's out of play.
Yeah, the whole facial hair thing, you know, I think it initially started, you know, we're going to be individuals. We're going to be different. We're going to set ourselves apart. But when everybody in baseball is growing big beards, just like everybody else.
Well, Coley's an original.
Yeah, he had it before it was trendy.
His beard got attention when he was in the minors, actually. It's full 3-2.
Again. Quackenbush out of Jesuit High School in Tampa, Florida. Al Lopez, a Hall of Famer, came out of Jesuit High School. Lou Piniella, former great player and manager. Dave Magadan, real good hitter, hitting coach now. And Sugar Shane Robinson.
That was the one.
Just saw him on the last road trip. St. Louis.
Called strike 3, second time tonight. Owens has been called out looking on strikes, one away in the ninth.
Rivera sets up outside, and then Quackenbush shows that ball right down Main Street.
Cliff Pennington now. Eric Chavez is out in the on-deck circle. That's not a play. We're talking about Josh Colmenter really being an original in terms of the beard and everything. He was pitching at South Bend in the Diamondbacks system when he was a minor leaguer and really wasn't doing all that well. His teammates said, hey, why don't you grow a mustache? Well, he did, and all of a sudden he pitched really well. So it became a thing and a beard. And in fact, the Silverhawks in South Bend had Josh Colmenter mustache appreciation night. And now Pennington, after getting hit in the foot, here's the winning run at first base with 1 out.
Breaking ball, dive bombing down and in. Penny just kind of holds his ground. That ball skips right off the top of his left foot all the way to the backstop.
Number 12,
getting Eric Chavez to play with 1 out and a runner at first.
And he's hot right now. Xavi, 10 hits in his last 27 at bats, including a pair of home runs. He's got 3 on the year. He is 3 for 18 as a pinch hitter. Strike 1.
The last 35 home runs off the bat of Eric Chavez have all come against right-handed pitching. Boy, wouldn't it be something? Send him home happy.
Once again, that Padre outfield backed up with their backs to the wall. Here's the 0-1.
See home plate umpire Paul Nauert shaking his head no, indicating right away that's too far off the inside corner. He's given a little on both sides of the plate throughout the evening tonight, but wouldn't go that far off the plate that time.
Waiting for the big hit. That's a strike, 1-2. Now it's Chavez shaking his head.
Oh, man, that's really close. I mentioned just a moment ago, we've seen Art go off the corners all night long.
That's a pretty good take by Eric right there. 17 years in, you should get that call.
Right back in there again.
Roller to second. They can't turn 2. The throw gets behind him. And Shabby will stay put at first. He's still thinking about that strike call.
Well, what it does, it forces you to swing at those pitches. You know, Eric Chavez, in his mind, he was sure that pitch was off the corner inside, but if you happen to throw another one in that general vicinity, you feel like you have to swing at it if he's going to call it a strike.
So Shabby is aboard. 2 outs now. Ender Inciarte will pinch run at first. And he's the winning run with 2 outs. A.J. Pollock 2 for 4, a pair of singles. Well hit, right center field. And that ball is gone, a home run. A.J. Pollock walks him off on Memorial Day. First career walk-off homer, and it comes on Memorial Day in front of 35,000 plus, and the Diamondbacks are back in the win column, and they're changing their luck against the Padres. They have now won 3 of 4 against San Diego, and what a way to open this homestand.
We've seen this from A.J. Pollock this year. Surprising power to straightaway center and opposite field. He squares that one up right on the barrel of the bat, a high fastball. Teammates anticipating that ball sneaking over the fence out there in center field, setting off a celebration.
Let's go downstairs. Jody Jackson is with A.J. Pollock. Jody.
All right, A.J., first walk-off hit for you. Wow. A lot of candy, a lot of dirt. How's it feel?
That feels good. Yeah, I don't think we wanted to go to that those extra innings after the road trip we just had.
I had a feeling, I have to tell you. Tell me what you saw on that pitch.
I don't know. It was probably a little more up than I wanted to, what I was looking for. But, you know, I really just want to put aggressive swing on it and hopefully hit a gap and see Ender run.
Such an up and down game here today, an interesting game on Memorial Day with a big crowd. What did it mean to be able to come up with the hit and deliver it with a home run here?
I'm not quite sure what you said, but, you know, it was great. We had a lot of, big crowd tonight, and we had some good defense, good pitching, good hitting. We had a little bit of everything. Good comeback, and it's good to get the win.
A number of guys had a lot to do with this victory here tonight, and Martin Prado had a big day as well. Some good defense in the field, like you mentioned. What does it mean to see him heating up?
Yeah, no, he was outstanding for us tonight. He made some plays in the field. He made a really good base running play there to get the third, and to get hit. So big part of this team, and we're just happy that he's on our team.
I had a similar question for you recently out here on the field, but again, you're heating up really since just the first couple weeks of the season. Can you just talk about the success that you're having right now?
Yeah, I can't really put a finger on it. It's just something I want to go out there and be able to compete with for my team every day. And, good or bad, I just want to be able to come back and give my best effort the next day.
Thanks a lot, A.J.
Thank you.
All right, A.J. Pollock. Steve, will send it back up to you. I can tell his heart is still racing right now after the walk-off home run.
Thank you, Jody. A.J. Pollock's first career walk-off homer, and he had a rough road trip through St. Louis and New York, 3 for 24. But a big ball game today. 2 singles, a homer. He drove in 2. He scored 2 in what turns out to be a 7-5 Diamondbacks win. Let's start the postgame show. Hugs all around on Memorial Day here at Chase Field. What a day to be at the ballpark. And, of course, Cindy Brunson is here. Cindy.
Thanks so much, Steve.